Hello, everybody, and this is Harvard and Zack, and we're going to be looking at the Sunday night game, Kansas City and Pittsburgh. But before we get into that, let me just remind you that I'm going to be having my underdog game of the month, and please just go ahead and give me an email and title it on the subject matter, Harvard, and you will get some great thoughts, great analysis, trends, angles, reasons, thoughts, whatever I got going for that game. You'll be impressed. Anyway, Kansas City versus Pittsburgh. 70% on the early money has come in on Pittsburgh. The line opened at -4. It's already up to 5.5. Kansas City, I really feel like they're the poster child for basically this is how they win games. They play football 101. You can't get much more for freshman type attitude. Just the basics. They're averaging 23 points per game. No turnovers. They manage the game so well. They don't want to, throw it long. They just safe passes, no TOs, and great defense. They're only allowing the opposition 16 points per game, coming off a 24-3 New York Jet game. So that showed exactly what they want to do, and I think that's what they're going to do this week. The only difference is they're not going to win the game. Pittsburgh, they really haven't had much of an offense. They're actually averaging less points than Kansas City is, which is surprising. They're averaging 22 points per game. Ben, he's already had 4 interceptions. They just got blown out, embarrassed, whatever adjective you want to put next to that, to Philly, 34-3. I don't even want to figure out. In fact, if I was the coach, I would just throw the game film away and say, hey, let's go on to the next week. You don't want to review that. They get Le'Veon Bell back this week. Now, there's good news and bad news. Yeah, he could, he's capable of running 100, 150 yards, but he hadn't been hit, and that takes a toll. He's got rust, which creates fumbles, and I think it's that one turnover, that one fumble, that's going to keep this game close. But I want you to write down the final score. This is my final score prediction, 24-20. Pittsburgh wins, Kansas City covers the 5.5 points. So let's go 24-20. Write that down and see how close I am this time Sunday.
Keep in mind when we talk about these free play videos, this one is one of the ones that I would lay off of betting, but we're going to give an opinion, so that's what we're going to do here. There's no value on this in my opinion. 4.5, 5.5. 5.5 is what the number is right now. You date back to the game they played last year or the year prior. I think it was 2 years ago. They played that game in Pittsburgh. Kansas City blew the game. Couldn't 2 4th downs in Pittsburgh territory. Then Andy Reid called some baffling plays. They didn't get the conversions. They lost that game in a narrow loss. But talk about Le'Veon Bell coming back. We don't know what his value is in this game, and that's one of the reasons why I couldn't put this out as a premium play. Plus, you got Kansas City coming off a great win against the Jets, but I'm still leery of Kansas City just based on they haven't opened up their offense. They're waiting on Jamal Charles to come back. They don't trust Alex Smith still, and they're relying on their defense to win. Can that defense play well against Pittsburgh? Sure they can. They did it 2 years ago, and they've got great personnel to get the job done. People are going to look at Ryan Fitzpatrick's awful game, 6 interceptions, and jump on the fact that Ben Roethlisberger can throw that ball deep and tear them up. But I think Ben Roethlisberger, like you said, he's struggling. Teams are blanketing Antonio Brown, and the receivers behind Brown are just not stepping up like the receivers of years past. Eli Rogers is looking like a bust. Sammy Coates. I mean, these guys aren't getting the job done, and it's showing. And the same thing with the tight end position. Without Heath Miller, he doesn't have that safety net. Jesse James is still getting acclimated and made some good catches against Cincinnati, but those safety nets that Ben Roethlisberger had in the past aren't there, and with Antonio Brown being blanketed, he's forcing the football. So I think that's something you have to look at. Maybe Le'Veon Bell is that factor that changes things this weekend, but I couldn't trust that going into this. But if I had to side with a pick for free play, I would take Kansas City based on them adjusting the issues they had a couple years ago in Pittsburgh and taking care of business.
Well, there's another thing, too. When we follow the money, this is a very important thing. Sunday night games are like the old Monday night games, where that was the end of the week. A lot of bookmakers make the Sunday night game your last game because they don't want to get double hit, where everybody goes all in on Sunday, and then if they lost, everybody goes all in Monday. So a lot of bookmakers are ending their week on Sunday. Well, look at this also. It's the last game of the day for the Las Vegas sports books. If they have the line at 5.5, they're going to get caught with every teaser card in America, lowering it from 5.5 to plus a half. Oh, wow. All Pittsburgh has to do is win the game. Yeah. Well, it doesn't work that way in Vegas. They just don't give out free money. Yeah. So with that in mind, I think that Kansas City will cover. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. They will never, ever find most people that are losing all day taking the underdog or betting the under. Anybody that's down needs to double up on the last game thing. They always just fire on the home team favorite, and they bet it's going to be a high-scoring game. And that's the way Vegas works, and that's the way the public works. So that might be a little bit of another nugget, knowing that this is the last game of that long day, and teasing it down from 5.5 to plus a half is really not the way to do this. If you were going to do a teaser, just go ahead and tease it up to 11.5, and you got the double-digit win. No, very few of them are going to end up doing that anyway. So put a check mark next to Kansas City, and remember that final score, 24-20. And also make sure you go to the website and get those plays from Zack, or give me a holler via email and just title it Harvard. And I got my underdog game. Well, no, it'd be over by then, unless you get this early. Yep. Yeah, that's right. You're going to be watching this early, so go ahead and I'll have it for you. Thank you.